What if the monster you hunt stares back not with fangs, but with your own fractured gaze, the raw, unfiltered echo of every buried regret, every pulse of unchecked fury that history's tyrants and everyday rebels alike have wielded as both sword and shackle? Imagine the acrid tang of digital ozone scorching your nostrils, the cold gleam of polygonal shards slicing the air like the guillotine's shadow in revolutionary Paris, as you stand on the precipice of a world where emotions aren't just felt, but weaponized, devouring the soul from within. This is the visceral hook of Digimon Beatbreak's Episode 3, Facing Mirrors, released on October 18, 2025, slipping into the throbbing vein of its nascent arc, the fragile forging of Glowing Dawn, a ragtag cadre of digital outcasts navigating a dystopian sprawl where human hearts bleed code. From the outset, it ensnares you, not with bombast, but with a quiet dread, the kind that mirrors those midnight hours when life's relentless rhythm forces you to confront the glitch in your own story. I've watched, and I wonder, have you ever felt that pull, that insatiable itch to shatter the reflection before it shatters you? The episode dangles answers just beyond the glass, leaving your pulse racing, your curiosity a live wire, demanding you cross into its fractured realm to claim what waits in the wake of Episode 2's gritty alliance forging amid the Kanoko gang's chaos, where Tomoro Tenma's raw impulse first synced with the feral pulse of Gekkomon, and Glowing Dawn's bounty-hunting ethos clashed against personal vendettas. Episode 3 ignites like a short-circuited fuse, funds dwindling and stomachs growling in the neon-drenched underbelly of a city that devours the weak. The team hunts bounties at Garando's shadowed markets, their steps echoing the desperate footfalls of famine-struck villagers in feudal tales. Yet when they balk at pursuing Hyman Earring, the sly thief who pilfered Hitomi's Sapatama and plunged her into Cold Heart's icy grip, Tomorrow's fury erupts, a solitary blaze, pulling him, and his reluctant lizard-like partner, into the labyrinthine mirror world. What unfolds is a descent into distorted reflections, evolutions that twist like betrayed friendships, interventions that teeter on the edge of betrayal, and a hard-won revival that tastes of fragile hope amid the shards. It's a bridge episode, not a mere interlude, propelling the arc toward deeper fissures in trust and identity, each beat syncing with the last like a heartbeat quickening toward revelation. You can almost feel the chill of that mirrored fog on your skin, hear the distant clamor of Garando's hagglers fading into whispers. Don't you ache to lean closer, to trace the cracks yourself before they spiderweb into something irreversible? This episode doesn't merely advance. It accelerates with the precision of a glitch-hacked algorithm, unraveling the narrative's core like a Mobius strip where pursuit becomes pursuit by the pursued. From Garando's Bounty Bazaar, evoking the clandestine dealings of Prohibition-era speakeasies, where every deal drips with double-cross, we pivot to Tomorrow's rogue hunt, culminating in the mirror world's introduction. A polygonal forest of infinite refractions, birthing the episode's twist as Hyman Earring digivolves into the snarling Fongmon, its form a grotesque parody of unchecked evolution, much like the unchecked ID in Freud's shadowed consulting rooms. Pacing strikes a taut balance, deliberate in its emotional simmer, explosive in combat's frenzy, ending on a cliffhanger that hums with foreboding, a berserk surge in Tomoro and Gekkomon, hinting at a dark digivolution that could eclipse even the moral quagmires of Digimon Tamer's Hypnos arcs. Fans murmur over cloudy aspects, like the government's opaque Digimon detentions. Do they rehabilitate, experiment, or erase? But drawing from Tamer's lore of digital quarantines and hack / memories AI ethics, these ambiguities aren't fog, they're deliberate veils, mirroring real-world debates on surveillance states, think Snowden's revelations, enriching the hunt with layers of conspiracy that demand your scrutiny. The revival of Hitomi via her reclaimed Sapatama? A pivotal revelation, not a tidy bow, but a spark igniting questions of emotional tethering. Did it truly mend her, or merely postpone the fracture? Tomoro Tenma isn't just growing. He's molting, shedding the armored isolation of his trauma-scarred youth. Flashbacks to impulse-induced blackouts and societal exile painting him as the modern Prometheus, chained for his defiant fire. His arc here is transformative, from barking orders at Gekkomon as a feral lizard, to a trembling apology that names him partner. His choices pulse with psychological authenticity, surprising in their vulnerability yet consistent with the outcast's rage we've glimpsed before. Gekkomon, too, emerges from beast to burdened soul, refusing deletion with a moral spine that echoes Renneman's stoic wisdom in Tamers. His near-corruption by Tomorrow's fury a mirror to the boy's hidden wound, fear of becoming the monster his brother warned against. The Glowing Dawn ensemble, Kyo's mentor-weary gaze, Reina's barbed empathy, deepens through intervention, their hesitations not flaws but facets of collective healing, choices that surprise by humanizing the cleaners as flawed family. Beyond trust's fragile scaffold, Facing Mirrors probes the abyss of self-confrontation. What does it mean to gaze into your distorted twin and choose mercy over erasure? Manifest in Tomorrow's quaking standoff with a reverted Punimon, innocent babe or latent beast. It evokes Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, rolling the boulder of impulse uphill only to question the roll itself. Hope wars with despair in every Sapotama's glow, a digital Promethean fire illuminating morality's gray. Are Digimon predators or prisoners of human code? Their deletions, akin to historical purges of the other? Sacrifice underscores it all. Tomorrow's solo plunge, a reckless offering. The team's halt, a communal tether, resonating like echoes from the trenches of World War I letters, where soldiers pondered survival's cost not in blood, but in the soul's quiet erosion. The mirror world isn't mere set dressing. It's a philosophical forge, complicating the Epos dystopia with rules of refraction where evolutions warp like lies in a funhouse, enriching the universe by layering Beatbreak's cyberpunk veins, Sapotama as societal leashes, bounties as commodified chaos, with interdimensional peril, hinting at fractures in the real world's AI overlords. It complicates without overwhelming, inviting you to map its polygons as if charting the uncharted territories of your own psyche's hidden realms. The script cuts like a monomolecular blade, sharp, unyielding, laced with poetic undercurrents that linger like the aftertaste of forbidden fruit. Lines like Tomorrow's halting "You're not just a glitch, your mind" carry the weight of epiphanies in the Matrix's red pill moments, foreshadowing bonds that could shatter worlds, while Gekkomon's grunted refusals resonate with the terse wisdom of samurai haiku, each word a stone skipped across despair's pond. No cliches here, even barbs from Reina bite with purpose, evoking the witty salvos of Sherlock's deductions, propelling you forward while the script's rhythm, conversational lulls exploding into roars, mirrors life's own unpredictable cadence. I found myself pausing after credits, those words replaying like a half-remembered dream, urging, what fracture in your dialogue with the world might next demand voicing? The animation pulses with cybernetic grace, art direction bathing Garando in sickly neons, greens like envy-soured absinthe, shadows pooling like ink in a dystopian novel's margins, while the mirror world's shards refract emotions into prismatic fury. Stillness in Tomorrow's rage, a deliberate void that amplifies movement's frenzy, symbolizing inner turmoil as frozen lightning. Fluidity shines in Fangman's lunges, each frame a visceral crack against your retinas. Beauty here not ornamental but ontological, a reminder that in Beatbreak's code-woven hell, aesthetics are ethics. Lights dance a judgment on the dark. Direction wields the camera like a therapist's gaze. Low-angle tilts distorting Tomorrow's silhouette into titanic isolation, evoking Blade Runner's voyeuristic dread, while rapid edits in the Berserk clash mimic a heartbeat stutter, amplifying tension until your own breath sinks. It's intimate warfare, shots composing not just action, but the soul's silent screams. The OST haunts as a spectral chorus, motifs of fractured chimes weaving through synth-drenched dread, crescendoing in Gekkomon's refusal like Wagner's leitmotifs twisted through a glitch filter. Silence, too, screams loudest, the void post-revival, a held breath that etches wonder into your marrow. And the CU? Tomorrow's voice actor channels a tremor of adolescent fracture, raw as a street poet's confession. Gekkomon's gravelly timbre embodies feral loyalty with a pathos that rivals Gilman's childlike ferocity, each inflection a scalpel-carving character from air, intensity not acted, but inhabited, leaving you to wonder if you've ever voiced your own scars half so bravely. This episode didn't just stir me, it excavated, rage boiling like the molten core of personal vendettas I've nursed in quieter failures, wonder flickering in Hitomi's, awakening like dawn after a vigil too long. Moment scar, that Berserk collision of destinies, a pivotal shatter where boy and beast teeter on oblivion's brink. Shift, it left me hollowed, yet alight, philosophical ghosts whispering of identity's infinite regressions, much like Borges' labyrinthine libraries, where every mirror multiplies not just forms, but the eternal query. In facing your fractured self, do you find forgiveness or fuel? You feel it too, don't you? The weight of that unasked apology, the thrill of a bond reforged in fire? It's not resolution, it's reckoning, lingering like the aftershock of a quake, compelling you to revisit, to relive, until the questions colonize your quiet hours. Have you ever clung to the frayed threads of family, that fragile web spun from shared silences and unspoken burdens, only to feel it unravel like the tattered sails of Columbus's ships adrift in uncharted seas, where hope flickers against the storm of isolation? In episode 4 of Digimon Beatbreak, released on October 26, 2025, the acrid scent of exhaust mingles with the metallic tang of resolve, as Tomorrow Tenma wrestles with the ghosts of belonging in a dystopian haze. Nestled in the early arc of fractured alliances and emerging bonds, this chapter echoes the poignant isolation of Hemingway's Old Man battling the sea alone. Yet here, digital companions surge forth like loyal hounds in a hunt. I personally was struck by its raw intimacy, a seductive whisper of kinship forged in chaos, teasing revelations without surrender. Feel the rumble of engines beneath your feet, the sting of wind-whipped script dust in your eyes, as suspense coils like a noose. What if the family you never sought becomes the anchor you can't release? The answers pulse just beyond the frame, drawing you inexorably in, not to consume the tale, but to crave its hidden heart. Episode 4 unfurls from the embers of Episode 3's tentative integrations, where Tomoro's reluctant entry into glowing dawns fold mirrored Odysseus's weary return to Ithaca, adrift yet drawn homeward. Here, the team pursues a rogue Digimon disrupting cargo lines, a chase laced with mishaps that expose raw tensions, akin to the fateful pursuits in The Great Gatsby, where illusions shatter against reality. Key events pivot on botched captures, protective sacrifices, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy lures, transitioning the narrative toward deeper conspiracies while solidifying fragile ties. You can almost hear the screech of tires on rain-slicked streets, taste the bitter regret of failures unspoken, as bonds strain and reform. But why this elusive thief, and what dark missives beckon chaos? The curiosity simmers like a pot about to boil over, compelling you to witness the unraveling, not for the plot's march, but to sate the gnawing need. What shadows hide in your own unclaimed kinships? This episode advances the narrative by cementing Tomoro's place within glowing dawn, introducing subtle escalations through a monster of the week hunt that reveals broader threats, much like the episodic revelations in classic Digimon arcs that build to franchise-spanning lore. Key twists emerge in failed pursuits and reciprocal rescues. Tomoro's initial blunders stem from divided loyalties, culminating in a cliffhanger hinting at anonymous backers via mysterious black letters, luring rogue owners into havoc. Pacing strikes a deliberate balance. Brisk action sequences punctuate introspective lulls, creating dramatic equilibrium that avoids overload while fostering emotional investment. Fans often query cloudy aspects like the black letter's origins or Glowing Dawn's no-deletion policy for captured Digimon, which has bounties and involves raising babies. Why the mercy, and who handles the infants? As an original anime without direct manga or light novel adaptation, per franchise wiki and production notes from Toei, these draw from Digimon's broader web novel-inspired lore, such as in Digimon Chronicle or Digimon's Rose Wars manga, where Digimon are sentient beings deserving rehabilitation rather than erasure, emphasizing impulse as emotional energy. Research from fan analyses on sites like Digimon Wiki clarifies the letters as early villain setup, akin to shadowy organizations in Digimon Tamers novelizations, providing context that the animation's dystopian world complicates human Digimon bonds, transforming ambiguity into thematic foreshadowing for escalating conflicts. Tomoro's depths unfold as a brooding isolate, his hidden wounds, abandonment masked by sibling devotion, echoing Hamlet's introspective torment, motivating self-serving, choices that surprise in their vulnerability. His growth transforms reluctance into tentative alliance, consistent with his arc yet revelatory when he mirrors Reina's sacrifice, saving her from debris at personal cost. Reina, hot-headed and fiercely loyal, reveals motivations rooted in familial voids, drifting sans kin until glowing dawn, her dialogue sharp and transformative, evolving from clashes to empathy. Gekkomon's unchecked antics reflect Tomoro's inner chaos, while Kyo's absence hints at deeper scars, his dead-eyed demeanor suggesting unspoken trauma. These developments feel surprising yet organic, peeling layers like onion skins to expose shared isolation. Power manifests as impulse, human emotions fueling Digimon evolutions, questioning morality in a dystopian grind. Does harnessing such energy corrupt or redeem? Sacrifice pulses in protective acts. Reina shielding Tomoro, he reciprocating, like Spartacus's defiant stands against empire, where survival demands communal hope amid despair. Identity fractures in Tomoro's struggle. Is family blood or forged in digital fires? These resonate through choices, probing if bonds transcend isolation, much like existential queries in Sartre's No Exit. New lore enriches the universe. Glowing Dawn's ethical code against Digimon deletion, exploiting AI vehicle flaws for heists, and black letters as villainous bait complicate the Epul society, adding dystopian grit that mirrors real-world tech skepticism, deepening immersion without convolution. The script delivers sharp, impactful lines laced with emotional weight. Tomoro's reluctant admissions foreshadow growth, resonating like Lincoln's Gettysburg pleas for unity amid division. Clichés of teamwork are subverted with raw authenticity, dialogue carrying post-credits echo in quiet revelations. Imagine the gravelly crunch of footsteps in pursuit, the heavy air thick with unspoken regrets. Doesn't it recall those historical turning points, like Churchill's wartime rallying cries, where words forge unbreakable pacts? The suspense heightens. What unspoken vows might bind your own fractured alliances? Animation pulses with fluidity in chases, art direction blending neon dystopia with shadowy alleys. Colors shift from warm camaraderie to cold isolation, lighting casting long shadows that symbolize emotional barriers, not mere aesthetics but a visual poetry of fractured beauty signifying hope's fragile glow. Direction employs dynamic angles. Low shots amplify threats. Rhythmic editing mirrors heartbeat tension, akin to Spielberg's kinetic pursuits in Raiders of the Lost Arkansas. The soundtrack haunts as a spectral guide. Motifs of rising strings elevate bonds. Crescendo's burning chase thrills into memory, while silences during revelations roar louder than chaos. Voice acting captivates. Tomoro's CU infuses tremor and intensity, embodying his soul's turbulent isolation with a timbre that quakes like a storm's first rumble. This episode evoked in me a tender ache of belonging's elusiveness. What scars did it etch on you? Moments of reciprocal sacrifice sparked wonder at human and digital resilience. A collision of destinies where isolation shatters, shifting everything like the Berlin Wall's fall, dividing eras of despair and hope. Connects to universal queries. Can makeshift families heal the voids we carry? Taste the dust of failed chases in your throat. Hear the echo of protective cries fading in the night. Feel the burden of tomorrow's scars as your own. The suspense weaving deeper, urging you to the screen. What if your hidden isolations demand such a reckoning? Reverse reading reframes potential flaws like subdued pacing or opaque policy details as deliberate choices. The slowdown mirrors thematic downtime for bonds, opacity inviting viewer speculation akin to Digimon's lore teases. Still, I didn't like occasional action shortcuts that dilute dynamism, though appreciation for character focus balances critique of minimal advancement. Episode 4 shines in emotional bonding and thematic depth, though pacing tempers its momentum, succeeding profoundly in narrative intimacy. I anticipate fiercer hunts ahead. Yet, as the digital echoes of your own unspoken kinships murmur, dare you chase the family waiting in the shadows, or let curiosity's pulse draw you inevitably to witness?